I am so pleased to welcome our next guest, Jerry Tello, to the lounge. You enlightened us earlier during our arts, culture, and racial healing panel. So as a therapist, author, and performer, Jerry, you use culturally based teachings to guide communities. What are some of the ways that you teach that people can practice racial healing?
I think that, the first step I always mention is connecting with the sacredness within. But also that means, the sacredness of your ancestors and your traditions and your ways. It really recognizes that all of us carry teachings, all of us carry songs, all of us have traditions, and even though racism has brought a whole lot of pain and generational trauma to us, what we tend to forget sometimes is that within our ancestral memory and genetic memory, we also have ancestral blessings. So we have traditions, we have values, we have ways, we have songs, we have chants, we have healing practices. As a kid, we were taught we had to pray, we needed to go to church, but we were also taught that you live that in everyday life too, that you see the sacredness in all people, from the guy on the corner, from the lady down the street that you greet every day, to and having to say, please and thank you, and acknowledge everybody. We walked in a room, we go visit relatives, we had to acknowledge everybody. It took half an hour to get in a room, right?
Absolutely.
And that was in a public place too. We were taught you acknowledge everybody. And I think that is one of the, it seemed like a simple teaching, but one of the most significant teachings. Racism is that lack of acknowledgement, where we are not seen, we're not heard, we're not valued. So from a simple tradition of just acknowledging people and recognizing all of them are sacred, that in order for our world to heal and to be at a better place, then all of us must be acknowledged in our sacredness.
That was very deep. I felt that. What's one simple exercise that our audience can do at home to take action, to experience this racial healing that we've been talking about today?
Well, I always hearken back on my grandmother who in her traditional ways would begin praying and then come to the room and bless us all up, right? And she blessed, the kids that were good in school, the ones that were good in not school, the fat, skinny kids, the stinky ones. She didn't care. She blessed us all. And what that said is that we all have that blessing in us. But how do we take that into our community? How do we take that, and every child that we see, bless them up? And when I go in schools, I ask teachers, do you see those kids that you teach as sacred? If not, you got work to do. You need to let every child that comes in that classroom know, I'm so glad to see you. You're such a blessing. And even the ones that mess up, even the ones that challenge you, right? You must understand when kids are acting up, it's because something is acting out inside of them. And so how do we bring them back to that sense of blessing? And I think as a world, I believe that if we could see every child as a blessing, and see every person as a blessing, and acknowledge them and see them that way, even in greeting, right? I think that we could change the world. The narrative then begins to change, and then our rhythm begins to change, and then our interaction begins to change. We also recognize that, when we encounter people that are harsh, that are not friendly, it's not because they're bad people, it's because they're wounded, right? And we have to hold them accountable, but we can hold them accountable in a loving way, in a way that we can say, can we talk about this? Can we dialogue? Because the more we pull back, the larger that wound gets. So I think, that sense of seeing people as a blessing, acknowledging that as an act, as a real act of just greeting somebody. Nowadays you don't greet anybody. People don't greet each other, right? And so just acknowledging people, saying good morning, saying how you doing, reaching out to help people. But then in those difficult times where there is conflict, where there is some sense of disagreement, in the traditional way, let's sit down and talk about it, right? Let's talk about it in a good way. And what I was taught, before you talk about difficult things, you gotta give somebody something. You gotta bring us some food, or let's eat something. I'm gonna give you something because I appreciate you so much that way, right? And if you learn that way of doing it, so it's not just about criticizing you, but it's really about honoring the sacredness in our relationship, then we can find a way to heal.
So, Jerry, what would you say your advice to young people who are watching today, who are trying to figure out how to start? They may not be able to vote yet. They may feel like there's so many issues in the world and they don't really know where to begin. What advice would you give to them?
Well, I think the first thing is recognize that you have a sacred purpose in this life. Okay, that your ancestors have sacrificed and have laid down many, many teachings and traditions. And so go through a process by which you can understand who you are, that as your own, whoever you are in your culture, recognize that. And the thing is that I see young people that come from 3 or 4 different roots, and they say, I'm 20% this and 40, and I said, no. You're 100% that grandma and 100% that grandma. Acknowledge all of yourself in that way. But begin then to look for people that can teach you, right? We need to have generations of people working together. Elders, what we call yelders in between elders and the youth all coming together. Each of us have something to give. Us as elders, we need to listen to the young people. We need to be able to embrace them. We need to be able to bless them up. But the young people also can look for that, right? And then guide us. We need them to guide us with their truth. We need them to guide us with their energy. We need to guide us with their rhythm. We need them to guide us with their blessings, because they have medicine too that can heal this next generation and for generations to come.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry. That was so powerful and so beautiful, and we really appreciate you taking the time today. Please continue to use our hashtag #HowWeHeal. And now I'm going to hand over the mic to Jerry, who's going to lead us in an exercise that everyone can join at home.
So let's take a moment and recognize that that our breath is connected to everyone that we has been in our lives, and let's all just take a deep breath through our nose and release and let it go. And as you take this next deep breath, I want you to call to your ancestors, to those people that you come before that you may not even know by name, may have never met, but know they are behind you and with you. And we're going to breathe them into our lives and breathe them into our essence. Let's take a deep breath that way. And release and let go. We also recognize that our ancestors and now us, because many of those generational wounds now come through us, and it's our responsibility to take them and do something positive with them. So with this next deep breath, we're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to let go of anything that keeps us away from that unconditional love. It keeps us away from being able to create movement and create healing, but in a sacred, loving way. Let's all, with this breath, take a breath and release whatever gets in the way of that. Just take this deep breath. Let go. And with this last deep breath, let's acknowledge the significance of who we are and commit that we will take care of ourselves and love ourselves. And anything that we have that's wounded in us, that we will seek guidance and we'll seek our own healing so that the next generation will have more blessings and less wound. Let's take a deep breath with that. Let go. And I'd like to offer just a quick little song for my people, my traditional people. And it's a healing song, it's a blessing song. And this blessing song, the vibrations of people when they sing, when my grandma would sing, when Miss Mosley would hum, when I would go down to her house, the music sometimes can connect us beyond words and beyond narrative. It just creates us as one in that unified one. So let me just, hey-ya, hey-ya, yo. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. Hey-ya, hey-ya, yo. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. Tonan, sin. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. O tataso. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. Hermano viento. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. Hermana agua. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. Enana luna. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. Encloquenawake. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. Hey-ya, hey-ya, yo. Hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-yo. Hey-ya, hey-ya, yo. Hey-ya, hey-ya, yo. Everyone needs to find their healing song. And when times get difficult, sing that song. And when you see somebody in difficulty, sing to them, bring them into your song so that we can sing one song together so we can all heal as one people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerry. That was beautiful.